faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right.
Why isn't it a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
We don't want to be the next Sudan.
You dispute the numbers that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed.
We are not hiding any facts.
Right now, you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. There is a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence.
It's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives.
I perform several burials because the Islamic are controlling the government. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
Correctly, you are saying that you had intelligence of the attack on Magugu. What's the name of that local government in Kebbi State? Maga, prior to the attack on the secondary school where 25 girls were kidnapped. You had intelligence and you provided this intelligence, but the military failed to act.
Absolutely.
So who should we be?
I said authority. I said a hierarchy.
The hierarchy. So who should we be?
Yes, an intelligence hierarchy.
Two questions
I have the intelligence.
Two questions
I provided the intelligence that the local government, the entire local government of Donko, the entire areas of Maru, in Dansado side of Maru local government in the forest state, the entire local government of Nasko, Rijau, Mashegu, Yauri, because the guys were coordinating themselves within those areas, within the radius of less than 100 kilometers. I provided this information. I don't really have specific information that they were targeting school, but I have information that they were coordinating themselves and they were attacking villages, and I provided this information.
So two questions in one now.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the show, Broadcast Unfiltered. Once again, Nigeria is occupying global attention. Not for any positive news, regrettably, but for the worsening state of insecurity in Nigeria. 2 days ago, young girls attending a boarding school, government girls secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State, were rudely woken up in their sleep in the early hours of the morning, and 25 of them kidnapped by Islamic fundamentalists or bandits operating in that part, in the northwestern part of Nigeria. Unfortunately, the school's vice principal was killed in the process by these criminal elements. And just yesterday, we saw the appearance of US rap artist Nicki Minaj at the UN, accompanied by the US permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Waltz. Nicki Minaj was not there to rap, but rather she was there to speak regarding the allegation of Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. And earlier this week, we also got news of the unfortunate killing by Boko Haram and ISWAP elements of a general in the Nigerian army, General Sani, who was killed over the weekend. My heart goes out to the family of this heroic general who laid down his life in the course of duty for his fatherland. May God grant them the grace and the fortitude to bear this loss. And of course, yesterday, some may have seen the viral news of Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, appearing on Piers Morgan's Uncensored show on YouTube, and where he was sparring with a former Canadian MP who I believe is of Iranian background. Unfortunately, that appearance by the minister, I think, leaves a lot, to be desired, and perhaps symptomatic of how the government is more reactionary to the developments in Nigeria rather than being proactive and engaging in more positive light. I'll come back to this later. And tomorrow, the U.S. Congress House of Representatives is due to hold a hearing on the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria and Nigeria's listing as a country of particular concern by the United States government. This is a major step that the Congress is taking, and I'll also speak about that briefly in this submission. Clearly, the situation of security in Nigeria continues to raise a lot of concern for Nigerians and for those who love the country. Let me start with Nikki's appearance at the UN yesterday. I had my misgivings about intervening in the situation, but I listened to her, and I will say I commend her for the courage to speak over an issue that she feels she's concerned about. The premise of the discussion may not fall in line with what some of us think, but it is highly commendable that she spoke when it mattered most. We cannot deny that Christians are being killed in Nigeria. I'm a Christian, I'm a Nigerian, and I know communities, I know places where these incidents have occurred. These are places I've been to, these are places where I have friends, these are places that I relate to on a very personal level. So I cannot deny. I belong to a denomination in Nigeria whose pastors have been killed in the northern part of the country, because when you talk about Christianity in northern Nigeria, my denomination actually stands as the number one in that part of the country. So they've suffered heavy casualty. So we cannot deny that Christians are being killed in Nigeria. Call it genocide or whatever. The important thing is that this is going on and it's got to stop. In continuing with this conversation, I have some questions that I feel that I would like to ask the president of Nigeria. Number one, the way and manner in which insecurity is spreading in Nigeria calls to question what exactly is the government's strategy to combating insecurity in Nigeria. Mr. President, when you were campaigning, you campaigned that you were going to set up a battalion against terrorism. Immediately you assume office. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have spent 2 years and some months since you assumed office. The people of Nigeria are asking you, where exactly are these battalions that you promised? What is the state of recruitment into military as well as paramilitary forces? Ask this question because these criminal elements who are operating are marauding all over Nigeria, unhindered, unchallenged by our security forces. They are not spirits. They are people. They are human beings. And if they can live in those forests, it means that we, with the resources available to you and to Nigeria, whether in terms of human, financial resource, and even the intellectual resource, they are not more than us, no matter the number that they are. You need to be accountable. The people you have appointed into sensitive security positions in the country need to be accountable to the people of Nigeria. It is time for you to tell Nigerians and the people you have appointed how far you have gone with this promise. What is holding this battalion from being formed, if anything is happening along those lines? Mr. President, I also have the question for you that what exactly is your strategy to engaging with the rest of the world in resolving this problem of insecurity in Nigeria? As I mentioned at the start of the show, tomorrow, the US Congress will be holding this hearing over the same issue. From what I've seen so far, no member of your administration is listed among the panelists to speak. I think that would be a big miss. And the reason for this, in my thinking, is because Nigeria till date has no ambassador in the US and indeed other major foreign capitals of the world. What does it take, sir, for you to appoint ambassadors 2.5 years into your government? Even if you cannot appoint to all ambassadorial positions, it will not be too much for you to appoint ambassadors to those sensitive positions, of which the United States, of course, is a major one. So tomorrow, what we are likely to hear will be narratives by people who, though well-meaning, can only speak based on their knowledge of Nigeria, from what they have read, from what they have been briefed on, and from what they have seen in the news. I think this is another missed opportunity. President Tinubu, Nigeria is blessed with so many people of high standing who command respect and who can speak to powers anywhere in the world. You have them at your disposal. I wonder what you're doing. Of course, I know diplomacy is not played out all the time in public view, but whatever it is you are doing behind the scenes, it is also important that you project and you channel to the people efforts that you are making to engage, not just internally, but to also engage externally with governments, including the government of the United States. At the rate things are going, I will not be surprised that the Congress will approve of President Trump's classification of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. I don't think that will work well for whatever plans you and your administration have to combat this state of insecurity. You need to engage. The government of Nigeria needs to engage, and you need to engage proactively. These issues did not just start today. Of course, no one is blaming the current government for all the problems with insecurity and religious intolerance in Nigeria. Nigeria is suffering from years of impunity, of the refusal of our leaders to take action and hold people accountable when they do things. Make sure that there are consequences for wrongdoings. There's a litany of religion-induced crisis in Nigeria that till date has remained, there's no closure to such things. Is it the Kano riots? Is it the Kafanchan riots? Is it the Zaria riots? Is it the Kaduna riots? Is it the Jos riots? Is it the Miss World riots? We can go on and on and on and on. The question is, why is it that Nigeria, till date, we cannot point to one incident that government pursued to its logical conclusion? And it is that failure that today has now coalesced to become the Hydra-headed monster that Nigeria is dealing with. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I know that your legacy is something that, you are concerned about. Let it not be on your watch that insecurity finally defeats Nigeria. As you very well know, there are places in the southern part and in the southwest in particular that is already infested by these criminal elements. Just yesterday, we saw the chilling video of the killings by these jihadists. I call them jihadists. I don't believe in this thing called bandits anymore. Killing people who were worshiping God in their church, Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku. My heart goes out to them there. I've been to Eruku several times. These people were just worshiping God. And then these killers, these marauders came in shooting at random, maiming people in broad daylight. Sir, your government is failing. The people are asking you to save them, and it is within your power. Hold the people you have appointed accountable. So much has been promised. Very little has been delivered. My last question, sir, is we want to see action. Nigerians demand action of their government. Yes, you just change your service chiefs, but this goes beyond just the routine of changing service chiefs. There's something fundamentally wrong with Nigeria's security architecture. Our intelligence system, the rapid response system, and how we truthfully engage with partners that can help Nigeria. Again, to those who love Nigeria, to those who love Christians in Nigeria, and to those who also love good practicing Muslims in Nigeria, Nigeria needs your help. Nigeria does not need invasion. Nigeria does not need to be ostracized. Nigeria does not need sanctions at this time. What the country needs are genuine partners and genuine efforts to engage and to hold those in power accountable to those to any form of assistance that is provided for Nigeria. But again, the buck stops on President Tinubu's table. I'm glad to see that you have canceled your trip to make it to the G20. It would have been a strategic engagement if situations had not arisen. But that shows leadership, Mr. President, that you canceled your planned foreign trip. But let it not just be a perfunctory thing. Let us see tangible things coming out of the fact that you are taking responsibility. Nigeria is too big to fail. Nigeria must not fail on your watch. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this episode. If this is your first time coming across this channel, we would love for you to support us by subscribing and liking this page. Thank you once again, and until the next episode, God bless you all. Bye-bye.